Once again, the issue of public access to the ocean has pinned some Florida Keys residents against developers and the public officials they lobby. Some residents cry foul.
This is my island, okay? And I see that wherever there is water on Stock Island, the developers are coming, and they're trying to push us out.
The new owner and developer of Wreckers Cay on Stock Island is the $18 billion private equity firm Lubert and Adler. They've promised to build affordable housing on Stock Island. Lubert and Adler want the county to give them portions of 3 adjacent roadways, which for years have provided public access to the water. They want the east end of Laurel Avenue and its over 1-acre jetty, and the east end of McDonald Avenue and its jetty, and a portion of First Street. We met with Diane Beraldson, a local resident, who does not hide her outrage at the proposal.
County staff, they talked about this property here. Oh, it's a little stupid. This is this is gold. Look at this. Oh my God, what we could do for the public. Think about the public, because this Stock Island, we've been given up to all the developers, and the people have not had anything for it. So this is a sin. This is corrupt.
County law strictly prohibits the abandonment of roadways that provide public access to the water. But the hope for 280 new affordable housing units seems to have taken precedence. Diane has now created the Stock Island Association, a grassroots movement with some 120 members. They want their government to recognize laws protecting public access to the ocean should apply throughout the Keys, even in working-class neighborhoods like Stock Island, and even if the business community needs more housing to staff its new hotels. According to Assistant County Administrator Christine Hurley, a recent survey by county staff shows there is no public waterfront access left on Stock Island.
I think I said to someone last week, what in the world happened with Stock Island over all these years?
But what this investigation is about to show is that the questionable privatization of public waterfront on Stock Island doesn't happen without the complicity of officials at all levels of government. Success depends on 3 tricks. The development of affordable housing on Wreckers Cay began as it often does, with a notice of eviction for hundreds of people.
There you go.
Oh, it's nice and cool in here.
The owner said that we had to move somewhere else, and we don't know where to go. It's all 5 of us.
The main issue was the relocation of the mobile home owners. Since 2011, Florida's local governments are prohibited from processing the redevelopment of mobile home parks if mobile home owners cannot be relocated nearby. A requirement clearly ignored by the county.
County staff is here to answer code-related questions.
Okay, but how come the first step is not to look at that study, to look at the relocation? You have not even started the relocation. You are still trying to figure a vendor to do your study, which I don't know what you're studying because everybody knows the answer. And then, yet you're processing this application. But in the meantime, everybody's getting evicted. And then, so by the time you're done with all your paperwork, everybody be out of a home, right? Is that the process?
What kind of planet is that, Monroe County?
After the meeting, the county authorized a $9,000 payment for an expert report that tried to establish that there was no problem relocating the low-income mobile home owners at Wreckers Cay. The expert had been recommended by the developer's attorney, Barton Smith. We interviewed the expert at his home office in Miami.
So these 3 are actually scams. Didn't they look funny to you when you saw $887 for this incredible 3-4 bedroom house? Especially this one with a waterfall pool and a spa and a poolside bar for $800 for a 3-bedroom. Did that sound a little bizarre to you?
There are units that get rented for non-economic rents.
In the Florida Keys, you think there is a beautiful home with a waterfall,
Ma'am,
pool,
I'm going to be...
and all of that? That didn't seem strange to you? Like strange enough to say maybe it was a Craigslist scam? I mean, I'm just asking because it's really low, $800.
I understand that.
So
you can make whatever judgment you want to make.
Okay, but you didn't think that was a red flag?
I'm not going to tell you what I think.
Okay.
I put it in my report.
Okay, so then let's look at this one here. It says $375. It's a one-bedroom. When you look at the text, it says $375 per week. So that's actually $1,500. So that wouldn't be very low.
No, that would not.
So why are they appearing in your analysis?
Because I made a mistake.
Okay, so you made those two mistakes, and then basically I feel like you found three. A boat and a trailer and a one-bedroom. And that the rest are all kind of weird. So, do you still feel like there are rental units for these families?
If you're going to make snide remarks, leave.
That's not a snide.
I'm sorry. No.
He couldn't deny that most of the cheap apartments listed in his report were in fact Craigslist scams. The same day Mr. Dolkart's report was filed with the county, the developers filed for summary eviction of most of the remaining mobile home owners. That same sort of bad faith was soon going to taint the question of the abandonment of streets and waterfront areas adjacent to Wreckers Cay. Under county code, a roadway cannot be abandoned if it provides public access to the water. Another county report explained to the commissioners that neither Laurel nor McDonald Avenues actually provide the public with access to the water. But after we investigated the issue, we discovered that hundreds of feet of seawall in the county's right-of-way on Laurel Avenue had been encroached upon and fenced off by a private business, Murray Marine. It meant that the Laurel Avenue fence would have to come down. And of course, the roadway could not then be abandoned to private developers with such clear and undeniable public access to the water. We contacted code enforcement about the Murray Marine encroachment. But rather than restoring the public's access to the seawall or using this newfound dockage to support mooring field amenities, the county turned to an old trick: declare the road a crime-infested area and close it to public access. On February 19th of this year, the County Commission unexpectedly held an emergency hearing to close crime-infested Laurel Avenue. County Attorney Bob Schillinger informed commissioners that a road closure requires a 90-day process with public hearings, but he added that since the sheriff was ready to declare that closing the end of the roadway was an emergency, the commission could decide that very day.
Almost lawlessness going on there, and I think it's the threat to our environment, or public safety, or public health, and my officer's safety. I have to be out there with large groups of people that are unidentified, that are, high on alcohol and or drugs. So the safety factor is widespread, I believe. To the fence to the right side, all I'm asking you is just put a fence across.
And the commission immediately approved the installation of a fence.
Hi, transients are super avenues will cause some problems. They had a bonfire here the other day with the trash and debris that are down there. We've had several cleanups here. We've got to keep it cleaning. It's a continual problem.
But I mean, what's going to happen with the people that are trying to go to shore? Are you going to arrest them or something?
It's supposed to disappear until the morning.
I don't know where they're going to go.
This truck is over here?
Yeah, well, I had to park over here now, so we can't park there no more.
Okay, and then how long have you, do you live out there?
Yeah, we have a boat out there.
And how?
We asked the boaters about the sheriff's claim of a recent crime wave and emergency.
Right. I haven't seen any crime there.
No crime, like you're never afraid to go down that road?
No, and I work nights.
Okay, and you work nights.
Here's what they put on my car down there.
Yeah, they did the same thing to me.
So are you living on a boat out there?
Yeah.
Part of it was with that garbage stuff. That they said that this place is, they're dumping there. They're in cahoots to take over this place. I'm telling you that. Okay? They piled it on there. They took their pictures. They had their photo op, and then they cleaned it up a week later. Now who did that? I don't do any bad things. I clean. I pick up stuff. I fought for the container there.
This is the same boater we interviewed before the county agreed to provide a dumpster.
Then they come with the big truck, and it's disgusting. And look at this.
He does have a point that the street was a lot worse before the dumpster was provided. On the day the emergency fence was installed, the street actually looked clean. We asked the sheriff's office to send us the records of the arrests and citations issued during the 3 months leading up to the sheriff's declaration of emergency.
Somebody's definitely sending the deputies out there, watch order, watch order, watch order, you know, like every day. Just prior, that's just prior to the sheriff coming in to talk to the commissioners, watch order. So when you look at these watch orders, you see here is a place where the deputies would be telling dispatch if, you know, something was up. If they were to actually find some criminal activity, there would be an incident report here that would also be talked about in the remarks. So there's no incident report here. So each time there's nothing, you know, basically the concept is that they didn't find anything.
Somebody was definitely sending the deputies out there a lot. But they don't seem to be finding anything wrong.
Okay, so this is the one about the fire. This was on the 13th. This is the bonfire that the captain was speaking about when we were on the street and they were putting up the fence. And so basically the report came in from Murray Marine, who wanted the road abandoned. And the report was that there was a large group of people behind the barricades at the end of Laurel, and that they were out on the point and that they were possibly having a bonfire. And when the deputy got out there, what he told dispatch was there was no fire and that the subjects moved on. So, and there was no incident report, you know, nothing really for him to do there.
The sheriff says there was intense drug activity and that his deputies were in danger. But again, there are only 3 arrests anywhere on Laurel Avenue during those 3 months. There is one arrest for open container over by CVS a block away. There's only one arrest for drugs, an alleged cocaine possession by someone in a car, but the prosecutor declined to prosecute.
Really, you know, I didn't find anything on the record that would justify declaration of emergency that would do away with the public's right to come to the commission and participate at a public hearing about the closure of the street, the way the law allows people to participate.
This was not the first time developers found the sheriff willing to declare a questionable crime emergency on coveted public land. In April of 2017, when aspiring developers of Wisteria Island were trying to put pressure on the Bureau of Land Management, the sheriff appeared in front of the commission.
Control that island from what's happening out there. That island right now is filled with people living on the island, committing crimes or destroying the island on the island.
It was reported multiple times that sheriff's deputies had raided the island and found 12 people with outstanding arrest warrants. But when we asked to see the warrants and the arrest reports, the sheriff's office admitted they didn't exist. It is perplexing that the sheriff was so insistent that the fenced-off roadway include the seawall by Murray Marine.
I wanted to talk to you to ask you to put a fence up from just past the black truck where the cones are, which is a Murray Marine fence, over to the fence to the right side. All I'm asking you is just put a fence across.
Why not fence only the entrance to the jetty, where all the crimes allegedly take place? But arguably, closing the entire block canceled the risk that the people would reclaim access to the seawall and foil the abandonment of Laurel Avenue.
I don't see these. What was that sheriff complaining about? You know, he did that also with Wisteria Island. Remember?
Too fast.
And he tried to do the same thing. Same thing with this situation. You know, now this development wants to go through. This is gorgeous land. Oh my God. They can't take this away from us. It's a sin because we have beautiful property out here that we could appreciate, but it's kept quiet. Nobody knows about it. And then the way it's done, it's just unethical. It's dishonest. It's corrupt.
As the county's vote on the privatization of the roadways drew closer, Diane Berleson's group of Stock Island residents collected over 1,200 signatures of support. They also received the backing and financial support of environmental group Last Stand, and they were able to hire Key West attorney Van Fisher. The main legal issue has been whether Laurel and McDonald Avenues provide public access to the water. Wreckers Cay claims they have a quitclaim deed for the jetty, and therefore Laurel Avenue ends on Wreckers Cay, not on the water. So we asked the state of Florida, who owns the jetties? The Department of Environmental Protection sent us a letter showing that Wreckers Cay had indeed applied for a state certificate necessary to establish ownership, but was rejected. We sent the letter to the county. Under pressure, County Attorney Bob Schillinger asked for an outside opinion from a private attorney. The attorney, Adele Stones, confirmed that because the jetties were attached to the county roadway, the county could successfully apply for the coveted state certificate to support its right to claim the jetties. However, somehow neither the DEP letter nor Attorney Adele Stones' opinion made it into the legal file the county staff presented to the commission. The hearing was held virtually. Commissioners Cates and Carruthers had to recuse themselves on the vote to abandon Laurel Avenue because of their ties to Murray Marine. Diane and her group made passionate pleas for the county to keep the roadways and turn the area into a public park. Schillinger had admitted the quitclaim deed was weak, but his office argued that nobody was challenging it.
Now, quitclaim deed it's sufficient to claim, to convey whatever ownership interest you have in it. It doesn't guarantee title, but it is a form of claiming title. So the answer to your question, the title's a little unclear at this point.
Again, he failed to mention that according to the legal opinion he received and the DEP's letter, the county was the only entity that could successfully secure rights to the jetties. During the hearing, commissioners professed their absolute commitment to protect public access.
Also, myself will commit that not to approve any other road abandonments in the future.
Stock Island has just been eaten up with people who want to make money, make money, make money. So I will say that because of all of the emails, the calls, and I'm talking over a period of years, emails, the calls, and what you heard today. How can we do this to our citizens?
But Commissioner Sylvia Murphy would be the only no vote on abandonment of Laurel Avenue. Commissioners Rice and Coldiron voted to approve the roadway abandonments. Diane Berelson says her group intends to appeal the county's decision.